It was very hard to become a performer because I love to sing and I love to rehearse.
Linda Ronstadt, a name that evokes the image of a heavenly voice that captivated millions. Behind that shining spotlight, though, was a woman full of contradictions. What made her stand out was that she never tried to hide them. Today, let's take a journey into a side of Linda Ronstadt that was never hidden, only rarely seen. In 1976, Linda Ronstadt appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone in an image that made America stop and stare: a delicate white camisole, blazing red roller skates, and a bold, unapologetic gaze. This wasn't just a fashion photo, it was a visual statement by a woman determined to challenge every boundary, both in music and in how society perceived women. At the time, Linda was at the peak of her career. She had just turned 30 and was releasing hit after hit, from You're No Good to When Will I Be Loved.
Feeling better now that we're through. I've been cheated, been missed.
Instead of conforming to the typical archetypes, the gentle ballad muse or the gritty rock rebel, she carved her own path. On stage, she wore glittering short dresses, tight tops, and thigh-high boots, exuding a fierce kind of femininity. The photo, taken by Annie Leibovitz, elevated that image, presenting Linda Ronstadt as someone who would not compromise, would not apologize, and simply chose to be herself. Public reaction was mixed. Younger audiences, especially women, saw her as someone breaking through every imposed boundary, beautiful without submission, sensual without seeking permission. The press dubbed her the new queen of rock, not just for her voice, but for her fearless spirit. On the other hand, conservative voices accused her of flaunting her body and dismissed it as a publicity stunt. Linda stood her ground. In a 2019 interview with The New Yorker, she said plainly, "I wear what makes me feel comfortable. If they want to turn me into a sex symbol, that's their issue, not mine." At that point in time, few dared to use their image to express feminine power so openly. In later years, the world would see that in artists like Madonna and Beyoncé, but Linda had done it first.
Snap with me, snap with me, snap with me, snap with me. Today is the last day.
In an era when women were still expected to maintain their image, it was the spirit of the 1970s, bold, liberated, and unashamed of who you are. At the Troubadour in 1971, Linda danced in a short dress, radiating energy that swept the audience along with her. In Don Kirshner's rock concert in 1974, she sang and smiled with effortless charm.
Left me here so I could sit and cry.
Drawing the crowd in with every move. But it was the Rolling Stone cover in 1976 that solidified her as an icon, not just a singer, but a symbol of a generation of women who dared to break every rule through music, style, and sheer authenticity. A firestorm of support. In 2004, Linda Ronstadt stood on the stage of the Aladdin Casino in Las Vegas, before hundreds of fans waiting for familiar tunes like Blue Bayou. Instead of just singing, she unexpectedly praised director Michael Moore and his documentary Fahrenheit 9/11, a powerful critique of the Bush administration following 9/11. No one expected that. In the middle of the show, Linda would reveal she had been monitored by federal authorities due to her past political activities, leaving the audience stunned. This statement turned the concert into a storm of controversy, with boos, thrown cups, and people leaving the venue, marking an unforgettable moment in Linda's career. The event took place amid a highly sensitive political climate in the U.S. Fahrenheit 9/11 newly released, stirred debate by questioning government decisions related to the Iraq War.
Law enforcement almost unlimited power.
They wait till the middle of the night. It's printed in the middle of the night.
Las Vegas, An entertainment city with a diverse audience from everywhere was not the ideal place for bold political statement. At 58 years old, Linda had been a star for more than 3 decades and was known for her outspoken stance on social issues like women's rights and the environment. This time, she pushed the boundaries further. During the performance, she paused, called Moore a patriot, and encouraged the audience to watch the film, describing it as an important work to understand the truth. These brief words ignited a fierce reaction. The audience at the Aladdin split into 2 groups. Some applauded her, but most expressed anger. Boos echoed. A few people threw plastic cups at the stage, and dozens walked out demanding refunds. Notably, a group of security staff in casino uniforms suddenly stepped onto the stage, escalating the tension. Under pressure from the crowd, the casino manager decided to ask Linda to leave the hotel immediately after the show, even forbidding her from returning to her dressing room. The incident quickly made front-page headlines with titles like "Linda Ronstadt, expelled from Las Vegas over politics." Many articles accused her of abusing the stage for propaganda, while supporters praised her courage for speaking her beliefs amid a tense political divide. Linda remained unfazed. In an interview with the San Diego Union Tribune shortly afterward, she affirmed, "I'm not here to please everyone. If I believe something is right, I will say it, even if I lose fans." This attitude revealed a lesser-known side of Linda, a woman who not only sang for entertainment, but also used her voice to fight. She even revealed that there were times she wanted to quit her career due to pressure, only to realize that silence was the worst option. Her action in Las Vegas was not a moment of impulse, but the peak of a career always tied to honesty and bravery. This event left a deep mark. At a time when artists rarely showed political stances publicly for fear of losing fans, her act inspired people like the Dixie Chicks, who later faced controversy for political criticism. The 2004 Las Vegas moment was more than a scandal. It was proof of Linda Ronstadt's strength, an artist who never bowed down and always faced unexpected consequences for the truth she pursued. A voice that defied all limits. Linda Ronstadt possessed a voice that followed no rules, a powerful instrument that could adapt to any genre, from fiery rock to classical music, from rustic ballads to technically demanding opera. This astonishing versatility not only left audiences in awe, but also made Linda one of the most multifaceted artists in music history. While most singers chose to remain loyal to one genre to build their brand, Linda was constantly moving. She treated each style as a new world to explore with both heart and skill. Beginning her journey with the Stone Ponies, Linda soon broke away from the group to carve out her own musical identity. The album Heart Like a Wheel, 1974, marked a turning point, with hits like Faithless Love and Willin' showcasing her rare ability to bring deep emotion to rock ballads, Refusing to Stand Still. She shocked the public in the late 1970s by stepping into the world of opera, a realm traditionally reserved for voices trained from early childhood. In The Pirates of Penzance on Broadway in 1980, she played the role of Mabel with a sweet, clear soprano voice, demonstrating remarkable technical precision. This performance earned her a prestigious Tony nomination and proved she could break through boundaries once thought impassable. Her foray into opera was just the beginning. Linda continued her path of exploration with What's New 1983, collaborating with conductor Nelson Riddle to breathe new life into classic jazz and pop songs from the 1940s. With her warm, richly nuanced voice, she transported listeners to a golden era of music, turning songs like I've Got a Crush on You into timeless love ballads. Perhaps the most culturally significant milestone came with the release of Canciones de mi Padre, 1987, a mariachi album in Spanish, honoring her father's Mexican heritage. To bring this project to life, Linda studied Spanish phonetics seriously, delved deep into traditional folk music, and recorded with a full mariachi orchestra. The result was an album not only widely beloved, but also the best-selling non-English record in U.S. and history, sparking cultural pride throughout the Latinx community. Every decision Linda made was a bold leap forward. While many of her contemporaries like Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles stayed within the safety of familiar rock sounds, she embraced creative risk. In the documentary, The Sound of My Voice, 2019, she candidly said, "I can't stand doing the same thing over again." Each genre is a different way of telling a story. That philosophy not only kept her work from becoming stale, but also paved the way for future artists from Norah Jones with her soft jazz, to Adele with her boundary-breaking musical vision. Linda Ronstadt's legacy lies not just in her vocal technique, but in her refusal to accept limits. Every time she sang, Linda seemed to affirm a simple and profound truth: real talent knows no boundaries. Through her tireless dedication, she created a rich and diverse musical legacy, a rare example of artistic courage in contemporary music. The greatest secret: Linda Ronstadt was a blazing fire that commanded the world's attention. Off stage, she was someone entirely different, shy, reserved, and fond of life's simplest pleasures. The striking contrast in her personality was perhaps the greatest secret behind the spotlight. In a 2022 interview with AARP, she revealed, "I always get nervous before singing. Every time I step on stage, I have to overcome myself." The confidence the world admired was, in truth, a product of sheer willpower, not her natural disposition. In daily life, Linda stayed away from crowds and preferred quiet evenings in Tucson, Arizona. Linda's resolve stood in stark contrast to her modest lifestyle. As a superstar, she could have easily chased fame and fortune, but she chose to protect her personal values. She once flatly declined a lucrative endorsement deal with Pepsi because she didn't want to become a brand. This decision stunned her management team. But for Linda, it was simply a way to stay true to herself. In her everyday life, she found joy in small things: walking through the Tucson desert, tending her garden, and writing down family recipes. Her book, Feels Like Home, 2022, filled with stories of Mexican cuisine and childhood memories, is a testament to her love of authenticity, so different from the glittering image of a star. Even in her private life, Linda maintained an extraordinary level of privacy. Although she once dated well-known figures like musician J.D. Souther and actor Bill Pullman, she rarely allowed the media to pry. She adopted 2 children, Clementine and Carlos, and raised them away from Hollywood's glare, in a simple home in Arizona. She once said, "Family is my most important stage." This devotion, so unlike the public persona of a constantly spotlighted artist, often left fans surprised. The contrast in her character also showed in how she handled rumors. Though the media frequently speculated about her personal life, she chose silence, letting gossip fade. This wasn't a sign of weakness. It was because she believed her real-life days spent with family, quiet moments, was far more meaningful than any explanation. Linda Ronstadt, with all her complexity, remains an irresistible mystery. The strength to overcome illness. In 2013, Linda Ronstadt made an announcement that stunned fans around the world. She had been diagnosed with progressive supranuclear palsy (PSP), a rare neurological disorder that took away her legendary voice and gradually made movement more difficult. For an artist who had used her voice to conquer every genre and move millions of hearts, this was not only a personal loss, but a jolt to the music world. Linda's journey with illness was anything but easy. As early as the 2000s, she noticed that her voice was not the same. At first, doctors diagnosed her with Parkinson's disease, but by 2013 tests confirmed that she had PSP, a degenerative neurological condition with a more severe prognosis than Parkinson's. The disease not only robbed her of her singing ability, but also affected her capacity to walk, speak, and perform everyday tasks. Linda once shared in the documentary, The Sound of My Voice, 2019, "Losing your voice is like losing a part of your soul. But I had to learn to live with it. After all, instead of retreating from the public eye, she chose to share her experience to raise awareness about PSP. She wrote a memoir, Simple Dreams, 2013, in which she described her struggle to accept the disease, from difficult mornings when she couldn't stand up on her own to learning how to find joy in small things. Linda also participated in interviews, even while using a wheelchair, to speak about the impact of the illness and the importance of medical research. Linda also turned to other creative pursuits, such as co-authoring Feels Like Home, 2022, where she shared stories about family and Mexican culture, though writing became challenging due to her illness. She also took part in producing The Sound of My Voice, helping audiences understand her career and personal journey. In a 2019 interview with NPR, she said, "I can't sing, but I can still tell stories, and that's how I keep on living." The impact of her story extends far beyond Linda herself. Fans around the globe, from longtime listeners who once heard her live at the Hollywood Bowl to younger audiences discovering her music on Spotify, have found strength in her perseverance. PSP research organizations gained greater visibility thanks to Linda's voice, and she became a symbol for those living with chronic illness, even while relying on a wheelchair and caregivers. Linda continued to appear at community events in Tucson, always smiling and speaking with unwavering warmth. A timeless legacy. Linda Ronstadt is not just a singer. She is an icon who redefined modern music. Her legacy goes far beyond hit songs or awards. It lies in the way she broke down genre barriers and celebrated Latinx identity, inspiring generations of artists from Shakira to Norah Jones. With boldness and vision, Linda transformed how the world sees women in music. One of Linda's greatest contributions was her ability to transcend genre. From powerful rock ballads to classic jazz and traditional Mexican folk music, she proved that an artist doesn't have to be confined to one style. This daring approach paved the way for modern artists like Taylor Swift, who transitioned from country to pop, and Norah Jones, who blends jazz and folk with finesse. Linda didn't just sing, she told stories through music, letting audiences feel the sincerity in every note. In The Sound of My Voice, 2019, she said, "Music is the language of the heart, and I want to speak as many languages as I can." That spirit continues to live on in today's music. Linda was also a pioneer in bringing Latinx identity to the global stage. With her 1987 album, Canciones de Mi Padre, she revived mariachi music not only to honor her Mexican heritage, but to affirm the value of Latinx culture within mainstream music. The album, which sold millions of copies, shattered the notion that non-English music couldn't succeed in the U.S. Her influence can be seen in artists like Shakira, who proudly infuses Latin sounds into pop, and Selena Gomez, who explores her Mexican roots through her music. Linda didn't just open doors for Latinx artists, she encouraged global audiences to embrace cultural diversity. Her legacy also includes her unwavering fight for women's rights in the music industry. As one of the first female artists to produce her own albums and demand creative control, she set an example for artists like Beyoncé, who also insist on owning their careers. Even though she no longer performs, Linda remains a symbol of freedom and creativity. Awards such as her 11 Grammys, the National Medal of Arts 2014, and her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2014 are only part of what she leaves behind. Today, when someone hears a cover of Blue Bayou or sees an artist confidently cross genre lines. That is Linda Ronstadt's influence. She didn't just change music. She changed how we perceive artists as storytellers, trailblazers, and people who never give up. Linda is proof that a voice can echo forever. Linda Ronstadt, a fiery force in music, a symbol of resilience and freedom. Her voice is more than just sound. It is a power that lights up the darkest struggles. Linda has left an eternal mark on music history with her passionate heart and unwavering spirit. As she once declared in The Sound of My Voice, "I don't sing to be famous, I sing to live." This stands as her life's manifesto: to live authentically, to live with passion, and to make music immortal. What impresses you most about Linda Ronstadt? Her captivating voice or her courageous spirit to be true to herself? Leave your comments below and share the moments that made you cherish this legend. Don't forget to like to join us in honoring Linda, and subscribe to our channel to discover more inspiring music stories. Thank you for being with us, and see you again.